Welcome to the Hollywood vs. Hollywood podcast. I am your host, HT, joining you with my co-host, the Bearheart himself, Michael Herbert.
I'm happy to be here.
Tell me which movie I'm describing, Michael. Paramount Pictures presents Glen Powell in a movie about a super talented Navy fighter pilot who joins a squadron of super skilled Navy pilots. One of these pilots, despite being excellent, has had a very tough career because of things beyond his control. In the end, the super talented and the tough career fighter pilot are stranded in enemy territory on an icy mountain.
Once again, you've this is your gift. This is your gift to humanity.
Today on the Hollywood vs. Hollywood podcast, we are talking about 2022's Devotion versus 2022's Top Gun Maverick. I know you like Top Gun Maverick a lot.
What gave you that impression?
Let's see how it rolls out today. Let's start with Devotion. Play the trailer, please.
You the only person I ever met belonged in the sky. Just remember you belong down here with us too, okay?
Lieutenant Tom Hudner. Jesse Brown. It's good to meet you.
The North Koreans came pouring over the 38th parallel.
Our guys need help, and we're up. The most important thing, we bring everyone home. The real battle in all of life is being someone that people can count on.
Is it Devotion? Devotion?
Devotion.
Michael, what is Devotion about?
Devotion is like kind of a quasi biopic about one of the first African American naval air officers, a man named Jesse Brown, who was part of a...
I don't think he was one of the first. I think he was the first.
The first?
Yeah.
I can neither confirm nor deny that at present. And he fought during the Korean War. So this is the story of his military career.
What is the critics and audience score for Devotion?
All right. Devotion, rated PG-13, directed by J.D. Dillard, with a screenplay by Jake Crane and Jonathan A. Stewart, has a running time of 2 hours and 19 minutes. It has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 81%, with an audience score of 92%, and a 3.2 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
That's really high.
Really high.
Yeah. Amazing. Let's get to our second contender today, Top Gun Maverick. Play the trailer, Michael.
You should be at least a 2-star admiral by now. Yet here you are. Captain. Why is that? The end is inevitable, Maverick. Your kind is headed for extinction.
Maybe so, sir. But not today.
What is Top Gun Maverick about?
What isn't Top Gun Maverick about? Top Gun Maverick is about Pete Mitchell, Maverick, who we met some 30-odd years ago in the original Top Gun, directed by Tony Scott. And this is the story about how he is going to school the next generation of aviators, including the son of his departed best friend and backseater, Goose. Now we have Rooster.
Did he murder him?
No, he was cleared of all wrongdoing.
Okay.
And this is the story of how they are going to overcome their personal issues and solve the problem of a nameless, faceless rogue regime who are building a uranium processing plant, which is really turns out not to be terribly integral to the story.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. Did you know anything about Ensign Jesse Brown before you watched Devotion?
I did not. I was not familiar with his story, despite having read a lot of material about World War II and World War II aviators. Well, this wasn't World War II. It's Korea. It's the Korean War.
They call it the
Forgotten War.
Forgotten War.
So
yeah.
I forgot to read about it, apparently.
Hollywood makes these biopics about Black history, which is very important. And I think this movie is a finely made movie about that.
Well, we had the Tuskegee Airmen, and I know that there's a film called Red Tails about them.
But that was like very commercial, if you will, not really a biopic, serious movie, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I feel like they may have taken the steam out of the Jesse Brown story.
Yeah. Well, this is also the first time we've had Tom Cruise as the lead in one of the twin movies.
I feel like we've talked about him before, though.
We've talked about him a lot, yeah. What are your top 3 Tom Cruise performances?
I had to think about this a little bit because I was like, what do I want this list to say, about me? Because I like to make it about me. Here's where I landed. A Few Good Men, which I think is great early Tom Cruise. And having chosen A Few Good Men, I felt like I had to shun Rain Man, which I think is a really strong Cruise performance. He has a really difficult task in Rain Man of balancing like being a world-class a-hole while maintaining some measure of warmth and likability.
I would flip that. Like if I had to choose between the two, I would go Rain Man.
I'm just such a huge fan of A Few Good Men, so that's where I landed there. And then I went with Magnolia.
That's a PTA, right?
That's a PTA flick. It's just probably the least Tom Cruise-y that he's ever been, as far as I'm concerned. But I really think the definitive Tom Cruise performance is Jerry Maguire. It brings everything that comes naturally to Cruise on screen, and it pairs it with, creating a character who has specific mannerisms and has a specific dialect. And I rewatched Jerry Maguire not too long ago, and it's really like a really flawless, emotional movie. I have an honorable mention, which I feel like may end up on your list.
Probably is my list.
Tropic Thunder.
Yes, it's number 1 on my list.
Right. It's just so much fun, and it's so much fun to see him in that role. It just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough meat on the bones for me to have it on the, in my top 3.
Oh man, dude, it's on my list. And the Les Grossman, who is the character that Tom Cruise plays in Tropic Thunder, is at the same cultural level to me as Clayton Bigsby, which is a character that Dave Chappelle plays. It's so iconic, so unique, so like knocked it out of the park right away type of deal. That has to and I like my Tom Cruise when he's not being a star, and when he's being like Hugh Jackman in The Prestige, like when he's playing a character, not the star. So Les Grossman, Tropic Thunder, number 1. Collateral's number 3 on my list. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Great performance in Collateral. Love him in Collateral. And then I came to Minority Report.
Oh, good choice.
Because I feel like that's one of his first pivots, like in the 2000s, which kind of defines the rest of his filmography.
I mean, and he's really good in War of the Worlds too. I think Minority Report is a better movie, and I think he's better in it.
And it plays very similar characters in both, and they're both Spielberg movies.
Yeah, I think history will look back fondly on Minority Report.
Are you ready to put these 2 Paramount Pictures against each other?
Yeah, let's get into it.
There will be dogfights. There will be rude French people. But only one movie can be crowned a true Hollywood champion in the Hollywood versus Hollywood podcast.
His curve is reflecting like the curve of the earth.
No, he's making a U-turn.
Clearly. No, Lloyd. The French holes.
What is that from?
Dumb and Dumber.
I mean, when you said Lloyd, we have a very simple process. Each movie will compete in 15 rounds, and it will be granted a point if it wins the round. In the end, whichever movie wins the most total rounds wins this episode of the Hollywood versus Hollywood podcast. The other movie gets gunned down in enemy territory. Michael and I are also each allowed the ace up the sleeve. Michael, what is that?
The ace up the sleeve brings the end to the debate in any category. If you feel strongly that a film should get a point, or if I feel strongly that a film should get a point, or if we just can't agree, we are each allowed to pull an ace to give the point to the film that we prefer. Each ace up the sleeve is susceptible to being Uno reversed by the others if we both are still holding the ace up our sleeve.
All right. Hopefully everybody got that. If you didn't, you'll find out. Round 1. Which movie won the release date? Devotion was released on November 23rd, 2022. Top Gun Maverick was released on May 27th, 2022. Tell me, Michael, which movie took off the runway first?
Sounds like Top Gun Maverick got to the movies first. So Top Gun Maverick was not the first like after COVID release, but I think it was about as early as it could have been released that people started to feel comfortable going back to the theater, yeah?
It all seems like a distant memory at this point, but I remember it exploding into the theater and just kind of bringing everybody out of their houses. And Tom Cruise had done like a really good welcome in the beginning of the movie, right?
I don't think it was very good, but okay.
Yeah, a welcome. We like Tom Cruise. I love his rant, which went viral, where he was like telling people to be serious about COVID.
I think that was from the Mission Impossible set.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't. Yeah. I heard that audio clip, and I didn't think he was wrong, and I didn't think less of him. For that.
Me neither. He's the producer of these movies as well.
Yeah.
So it's very important for him not to lose money as these movies are being made. So he was acting like a responsible producer, looking out for the safety of his crew and his production. So, there's that. And then there's the other movie that was in the news about not having crew safety.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
It ultimately, the producers are, I don't want to say responsible for the safety of the crew and the cast on a set. They set the tone.
Yeah. So I appreciate the producing hat that he put on.
So something that bugs me about those welcome to the movie videos, Scorsese does one at the top of Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, so funny. I was about to ask you, did you watch that?
Yes.
And?
I loved it. Did you see it?
I have not, unfortunately.
Oh, go see it in theaters. I did not see John Wick 4 in the theater because it was 2 hours and
49 minutes.
49 minutes.
I saw John Wick 4 twice in the theater because of how good it was.
So, it took a lot for me to be like, okay, I got to clear a whole afternoon. I went to like a 3:30 p.m. showing because I didn't want to get out of the movies at 10 o'clock at night. And it's 3 hours and 26 minutes, but it didn't feel like 3 hours and 26 minutes. The movie trucks, and it's going to clean up at the Oscars. It's just got unbelievable performances, and
I really hope we release this episode before the Oscars then.
But the thing that gets me about those welcome to the movie videos is their eye lines are always super odd. Like, we live in a world now where teleprompters like are not new technology. You and I engage with teleprompters a lot in our work, and one of the things you do is you move it away from the person. The further you move it away, the less it will look like the subject is reading, their eyes going back and forth. And for some reason, with all these welcome to the movie things, they seem to be like reading cue cards.
And they probably are.
Yeah, but get them a teleprompter or just like, Tom Cruise or Martin Scorsese.
They could wing it.
Yeah, just wing it. Give me 30 seconds on welcoming people to the movies. Anyway, that's my rant.
The first of many to come. Paramount Pictures was the distributor for both movies, so it made sense to spread out the release dates despite being somewhat similar genre movies, right? Let's get to round two. Which movie won the box office? I know the answer to this one.
Oof.
Do you know the answer?
From memory, Top Gun clocked in at like 1.2 billion.
1.475?
1.475.
I'm going to round it up to 1.5.
Huge movie. And I did learn today that Devotion fell far short of its budget. So you can give us the specifics.
With a budget of $90 million, Devotion grossed $21 million.
Oof.
Which is surprising despite its like really high rating. Top Gun Maverick had $170 million of a budget and 1.5 bills is what it got. While we're on the subject, I quickly want to mention a name that I'll be bringing up later on. Kevin La Rosa. Do you know who he is?
No.
Kevin La Rosa is the aerial stunt coordinator
for both movies.
Very talented, and he's done movies like Avengers, all the Iron Men, Transformers, just to name a few. If you just look at Iron Man and the way he flies, Kevin has a lot to do with that.
The flight choreography, when you watch a movie, when you've seen a lot of movies like we've seen, and there's something happening where you're like, I don't even know how I would plan that, That happened to me a lot when I was watching Top Gun Maverick the first couple times, where I was just like, this all feels very overwhelming and difficult to choreograph.
Yeah. And both movies' effects overall feel pretty grounded. Like they feel like you're watching real planes in a real sky, which is more than what I can say about most movies that I watch these days.
I was really taken aback by how good the flying effects were in Devotion.
Yeah.
And now, I mean,
They were heavily practical.
knowing now, though, that they had $90 million, I mean, if you told me that there is a Korean War movie starring Jonathan Majors and Glen Powell, I would have guessed that they coughed up 20 to 30 mil for that, and that it was like maybe a Netflix thing. But the fact that it was a Paramount picture that cost $90 million,
And there's no big names attached to it.
it seems wild that movie got greenlit. And I mean, you know, I enjoyed it. I'm glad it exists, but that's wild.
Did we officially call it for Top Gun? Maverick?
Nope.
Which movie won the box office, Michael?
Top Gun Maverick.
Round 3. Which movie has the better title? I think it's a simple one. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think I mean, I went to the H school of thought last night, and I was like, what kind of movie is Devotion? I was like, I would not have guessed that it's a Korean War movie.
Top Gun Maverick, clearly the better title. Agreed?
Agreed.
About Devotion, in bad economic times for movies, a lot of super religious movies get released. And so when you go to the theater and you read Devotion, you're like, I'm about to watch, the Lord's Gospel for an hour and a half about like some family that's going through something.
It struck me as a Denzel Washington film based on a play.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Denzel makes religious movies, but yeah, you're right. Also, I didn't know who Jesse Brown was. So I wish they had like somehow hinted at it in the title.
The title seems like a real misstep because it feels like it doesn't really help. It doesn't really help with marketing.
Yeah.
And even the word devoted, the way that it's used in the film is attributed to his relationship with his wife, Jesse Brown's relationship to his wife, Daisy. And I mean, I guess you could say it's also about like the devotion that the airmen have to each other or that Tom has to Jesse. But the film spends a lot of time on the Jesse-Daisy relationship. That's where that word is anchored.
Yeah, they should have called it Red Tails, the Jesse Brown story.
Unless I know it was based on a book. And I mean, if the book was
called
I
Devotion,
guess it was very popular.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I really can't see why you would land on this title.
If you want to sell some tickets, come up with better titles,
Yeah.
guys. Round 4. Which movie has the better leading actor? Devotion stars Jonathan Majors. First off, I was dreading to discover that Jonathan Majors is going to be yet another English actor feigning an American accent. Like,
Oh, is that true?
that I was dreading to find that
Oh,
out.
it's not though.
It's thankfully he's born in California because I hate those Brits taking away all of our good old American jobs.
Well, one of the worst ever is Cold Mountain, which is a Civil War era film.
Yeah.
That has Jude Law, not American, Nicole Kidman, not American. I was gonna say Renee Zellweger. Is she American?
No, I think she's British, pretty sure.
So yeah. Anyway,
I mean, I love Christian Bale and I love Tom Holland, but they are out-of-towners.
yeah,
Anyway, so Jonathan
out of towners.
Majors was born and raised in the good old USA, and these are the big movies that Jonathan Majors has done. Creed 3, I know you like that one, right?
Big fan of Creed 3.
Ant-Man Quantumania, and I'm pretty sure he's in all
Not
of,
a big fan of Ant-Man Quantumania.
He's in pretty much all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies as Kang, which I don't think is a well-received character, right?
I don't think are we in phase 6 of the MCU? And phase 6 has largely not been well received.
I stopped after like Endgame.
It really fell off a cliff.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of Jonathan Majors as Ensign Jesse Brown in Devotion?
There's 2 other films that I feel like are worth mentioning if you enjoy watching Jonathan Majors on screen. Those are The Last Black Man in San Francisco and Spike Lee's The Five Bloods. Jonathan Majors is also another in a long line of stars who've run into some legal trouble based on questionable antics in their domestic relationship
Is that right?
situation. Sadly, he's I think he was dropped by his manager and his PR agency because of some I don't know, pending or existing charges related to domestic battery, which again is really disappointing. Because I can't really remember being so excited by an actor as I was after seeing Creed 3. Jonathan Majors he has an unbelievable screen presence, and he plays kind of he plays the antagonist in that film. The level of intimidation that he brings is so unsettling. The external nature of the conflict in Creed 3 and its embodiment by Jonathan Majors feels much more at home in the Rocky franchise. Creed 3 to me feels more like a Rocky movie than Creed 1 or 2. It's a bummer again to find out that some of the people we enjoy on screen might not be the best people off screen. We're getting used to that, aren't we?
Yeah. Between Mel Gibson, Jonathan Majors, who else did we lose? What was our most canceled episode?
Well, but it was that Bugs Life Ants episode. Oh my God, John Lasseter and Woody Allen. All right, let's move on. You want to talk about Tom Cruise?
Well, I want to talk about his performance in Devotion.
Oh, you want to talk about Jonathan Majors? Okay.
Yeah. So, I didn't know all of these things about Jonathan Majors, especially because I was not following any of the MCU movies. But the first time I watched Devotion, I was actually really captivated by his performance in this movie. I thought he brought grace and gravity to the role.
Gravitas.
Oh, he could bring gravity,
Sure.
All right. I bought into this love story with his wife, like, their relationship. Whereas, like, watching it in Top Gun, it feels a little fisted in, like forced in,
Excuse me?
And I believe his struggles in the Navy. Like, I felt like the tension that he was feeling, So, and I was very moved by that scene in which he was like staring himself in the mirror, So I thought he did a great job as Jesse Brown in the movie.
Yeah, I liked Jonathan Majors' performance in this film a lot, and my issues with his character don't stem from the performance. It stems from the writing and the directing. I feel like
we'll get to that when we get to directing.
I will say just in this moment that I felt like while we occasionally dip into and discuss the issue of racism that Jesse Brown faced, I felt like it shied away from kind of confronting it head on or really making it, one of the main trains of thought in the film.
I don't know a lot about the director here, J.D. Dillard.
Yeah.
But if you kind of look at what Jesse Brown was about based on what's shown in this movie, he didn't really want to, based on how they treated in this movie, he wanted to be focused on his character instead of his race, right? So in a similar way, I would, if you kind of like zoom out of there, then J.D. Dillard is focusing on a movie about naval pilots and naval combats more than he is about the acute racism that might have existed at the time. So I think there is like a duality going on, well, singularity going on in terms of how J.D. Dillard is treating the subject of race in the movie.
I just felt like it lacked teeth. But I kind of, or even say like the gritty reality of it. And we'll talk about this more. But to me, one of the real deficiencies of Devotion is its kind of lack of gritty reality, to the extent that the clothes that everybody's wearing, it feels like almost like an Architectural Digest shoot of a modern home that has nostalgic wallpaper, Everything is really crisp and really clean, and the way that light comes through the window looks like a Norman Rockwell painting. So we'll get back to it, but I like Jonathan Majors in this role.
Let's get to your favorite
End of thought.
Movie here.
Favorite movie.
Tom Cruise reprises his role as Maverick in Top Gun Maverick, playing Maverick. We know the man's body of work. We got A Few Good Men, which you mentioned, Jerry Maguire, Vanilla Sky, Eyes Wide Shut, Cocktail, Rain Man, Born on the 4th of July.
The Firm, The Color of Money.
Edge of Tomorrow. We love Edge of Tomorrow.
We love Edge of Tomorrow.
Live, Die, Repeat, baby.
Mission Impossible is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Anything we missed?
I'm sure. I mean,
Tropic Thunder?
Lions for Lambs, that's a movie.
Yeah. He's got a huge filmography and a lot of greatest hits in there. What do you think of Tom Cruise's performance as Maverick in Top Gun Maverick?
Flawless.
Oh, really?
No, I love it. As I said, I mean, there's so much Tom Cruise in this role that it almost feels like cheating, because the performance or the character's journey, it's Maverick's journey, but it's also Tom Cruise's journey, right? Like, here comes Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner's going to take over Mission Impossible, after Ghost Protocol. But then it's like, sorry, kid, you just don't do it like Tom Cruise does. So, it's another story about the person who used to do it really well, who's still doing it really well, and schooling the youngsters. Chris McQuarrie is credited as a writer on this film, but I have to imagine that Chris McQuarrie was sitting in the room with Tom Cruise while they were doing a pass, because there's just so much about the way that the Maverick role in this film is written that leans right into all of Tom Cruise's strengths. And he comes out of the gate firing, right? With that look, when they're talking about the Dark Star test being shut down. And he's like, well, he's not here yet. And he just has that shit-eating grin that all of America loves. The part is written for Cruise, and it highlights all his strengths. He's entirely entertaining, and 10 out of 10, no notes.
This is what makes this a tough contest, which is that Top Gun, I think, is a fun action movie, and the other one's a biopic. So, although I feel like Jonathan Majors has a strong performance, I know that Tom Cruise, as the action star of the action movie that he's in, is a more fun performance. You know what? I really like both of their performances. If I was measuring dramatic aspects, I would probably lean Majors. And if I was just basing it on, action, fun movie with Tom Cruise, then I would lean Tom Cruise. What do we do with this?
I just think you have to say who's more effective, in the role.
Well, as an actor, like the specific scene that I was thinking about is when Majors meets Liz Taylor in Cannes. And I was hanging on every word that was going to come out of his mouth in that scene. Whereas, like Tom Cruise, it's, just more of the same, But, like, how is this different than watching him in Mission Impossible? How is this different than watching him in any of the many action movies that he's in? So, like, it wasn't like, oh, wow, look at this dramatic scene from Tom Cruise. It was just like, okay, more Tom Cruise.
What about the scene with Val Kilmer? What about You Have to Let Go? And the lip starts quivering and the eyes start watering. That's drama, baby.
Look, man, I've told you how I feel about both of these performances. Why don't you tell me what you want to do?
I mean, I think Tom Cruise is more effective in his role than Jonathan Majors is in Devotion. And it's no shade to Jonathan Majors, because they don't give him enough. I don't think they give him enough to cook with.
All right. Happy to give it to Tom Cruise. Round 5. Which movie has the best rest of the cast? Meaning everyone except the lead actors. Both movies have a Glen Powell in a pretty substantial part. Is it Gary or Glenn?
Glenn.
Did you know who Glen Powell was before these movies? Or, did you recognize him by name?
Not by name, but I knew Glen Powell's face from Everybody Wants Some.
Mm-hmm. Was he in Pacific Rim? Can't remember.
Is he? No, there's another blonde gentleman in Pacific Rim. I don't think that guy's as good of an actor.
Yeah. In Devotion, besides Glen Powell, we have Thomas Sidosky as Dick Savoli, who's like the squad trainer. What do you call that person?
I don't know. He's like their commanding officer.
Yeah, their CO. And then we have Christina Jackson as Daisy Brown. And that's about it for me.
Joe Jonas is in there.
Who's that? Like one of the Jonas brothers?
He is one of the Jonas brothers, indeed. I think he's the one who the internet doesn't like at the moment because he is divorcing the woman from Game of Thrones.
Oh, no. Emilia Clarke?
Nope.
Oh.
Sophia
Sophia Turner.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Is that him?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't want this to be a gossip podcast, Michael.
It's just what's happening in the world. It's,
Look, he married that person, and that person divorced that person. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care who married who.
That's
and
fine. We can move on.
Do you want to mention anybody else who's in this cast?
No. There's not a deep bench in this.
Not a lot of known people.
There's a lot of white men with dark hair, but I do want to take a moment to say that I thought Christina Jackson was pretty incredible. She's only in one other movie that I was familiar with, The Night House. The writing in Devotion, I think, hampered a lot of the performances. Similarly, I feel like Glen Powell is just put to better use in Top Gun Maverick than he is in Devotion.
Okay. That'll be coming up in a later category, by the way. What do you think of Serinda Swan, who plays Liz Taylor? She's in the movie for like 2 minutes, but I thought she was memorable.
I have a real issue with the whole leave in, the gentleman, the sailors are on leave in Cannes. I got an issue with that whole part of the movie.
Well, I don't think it's going to be coming up much, so if you want to say something now.
This is a feature film. It is not a multi-part miniseries. So I feel like we've all gotten used to the filler episode, right? Like when Netflix needs to get to 10, when they need to get to their 10 episodes in a series that they will undoubtedly cancel before reaching a satisfying conclusion, you're going to have an episode that doesn't advance character, that doesn't really advance plot, and we're just going to sit there for 48 minutes, and sometimes that's okay. And I feel like they gave it their best shot in Devotion. The whole part of the film that takes place in France it's beautiful and pointless. The actress who played Liz Taylor was fine, but I thought that it was a real waste of time, that it really took the focus off of the journey within the military that Jesse Brown was on.
Well, I haven't read the book, but I read after watching these movies, as I was doing research for the pod, I read a whole article about things that actually happened and things that the movie fabricated. And that Liz Taylor thing is actually something that happened and was a pretty big deal, I guess, for all these naval officers. Because Liz Taylor was Cleopatra, man. Right?
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's not an interesting anecdote. And in a 200-page book, I'm sure it's a fun little break, from being on a aircraft carrier.
You didn't think it showed any character development or anything like that?
Do you?
I think so. You get to know Jesse a little bit more throughout his time.
We learn that he speaks French.
And that he doesn't want other people to fight for him. And that he can get things done. All right, never mind.
You sure? Okay.
No? All right. Did you feel that despite the lesser-known names, that the cast was well used?
I didn't think that the supporting characters, the supporting actors were that great. I thought the gentleman that played the CO, some of those line reads were tough. He says something to the effect of you don't want your life to be defined by these wars. Trust me. Yeah, it was just very clunky.
I was pleasantly surprised by that character, and the reason is this: that the character you normally get in these roles is the Ed Harris read and the John Hamm read.
Better actors.
Yeah, also the way that they are playing that character, right? Which is just a straight line, unbending, unwavering, and it's very caricaturish, Whereas this one was softer, something we're not used to seeing. What's the Scorsese film in Boston?
The Town?
No, Scorsese.
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about John Hamm in The Town. Scorsese? Oh, Departed.
The Departed. So in The Departed, you have Martin Sheen, who shows this gentler side to him as he's dealing with Leo's character.
Come on in, I'll give you supper.
Right. And it's refreshing to see that. Whereas the John Hamm and the Ed Harris read on the Commander, I've seen this a million times, man. There's nothing new about this. This is how it's been done for 70, 80 years of cinema. It's boring. Come on, give me something new. And they're great actors.
When John Hamm says, send them, it gives me chills. And 80 years ago when somebody says it, if George C. Scott is saying it in Patton, it gives me chills. It's there because it works. And the guy who plays the CO, he's just not that great an actor, and he's given subpar lines. I don't know what you want me to. What do you want me to do with that?
All right. Let's move on to the cast that you do want to talk about. Top Gun Maverick, that features Val Kilmer. So this might be one of Val's last performances, but he's great in this movie. And then we have Ed Harris. Do you know that I love Ed Harris? Do you know this?
I did not know this, but it's funny to me that you're going from like people with the smallest parts up.
Yeah, because I love Ed Harris.
Okay.
And then John Hamm. I've become a huge fan of John Hamm because he's like Hugh Jackman, which is that he can really play all of these characters, but he's too handsome. He's too effing handsome, Makes it look effortless. We have Miles Teller, who's huge. We got Jennifer Connelly. We, of course, have Glen Powell. What do you think about, do you want to mention anybody else in this cast?
Just a couple of the supporting pilots that I like a lot. Lewis Pullman, who plays Bob, son of Bill Pullman, former president of the United States.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Monica Barbaro, who plays Phoenix, who I think is a lot of fun in this movie, and I'd like to find out if she's in anything else that we can see.
Yeah, she was great in the movie.
And then Bashir, bear with me, Salahuddin, who plays Hondo.
Yeah, he was good.
I love Hondo.
Yeah.
Love him.
All right, so that was a pretty good cast.
Would you be offended if I said you're the Hondo to my Maverick?
No.
Good.
Am I the Hondo though?
Well, I was thinking that I'm your Hondo and you're mine.
Oh, okay. I don't adore Top Gun Maverick as much as you do.
Well, I feel like
I'd rather be like Chewie.
I feel
and
like
Hans.
when you venture to do something in your life, sometimes you call me and say, I need some backup, and vice versa.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I go where you go where I go.
All right. Thank you. So we like this cast. We love this cast.
I think it's a great cast.
Helped with, in your opinion, good writing.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's great writing.
All right, cool. Awesome. So we giving it to these people?
I just want to tangent for the moment and talk about Miles Teller. I don't think we're gonna talk too much about him. I think he's great in this movie.
Fantastic.
I love the little touches that they do to make him seem more like Anthony Edwards. He's not good, Mav. Comes right from Top Gun and the original Top Gun. Miles Teller, he comes out of the gate with Whiplash, and Whiplash is such an amazing movie, and it's an amazing performance for a young person at the time. Since then, he's in War Dogs, he's in Fantastic Four, the not good one.
Wasn't he in Fantastic Four way before he was in Whiplash?
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
There's no way that's true.
Look it up. We'll remove this part of internet search engine searching.
Fantastic Four, 2015. Is that it?
I don't know. Yeah. Yes.
Whiplash, 2014.
Close. That close.
But wrong.
Okay.
Anyway, Miles Teller's a lot of fun. Jennifer Connelly has been in my life for a long, long time.
How did she enter your life?
The Rocketeer.
Oh.
The Rocketeer is one of my, favorite films from, when I was growing up. Also Labyrinth. She has been gracing the screen and mine eyes for a number of decades now. And
what's the Russell Crowe movie that she's in? Where he plays the math professor.
Beautiful Mind.
A Beautiful Mind. She's in that one.
She won an Oscar for that.
Yeah.
She also in Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, yeah.
Tough movie. Good movie, but one and done. The Hot Spot, Career Opportunities, House of Sand and Fog. Anyone? She's great. She's always been great. She always will be great. And it's nice to see her. And we've talked, a number of times on this podcast about what Val Kilmer means to me.
Too much. Means too much to you.
It's, even when he can't speak, knocking it out of the park.
He looks so much older than Tom Cruise, though. Aren't they the same age?
Yes. Yeah, I think they are very, very close in age. What's your favorite Ed Harris movie?
I recently rewatched The Truman Show, and I really enjoy that. And then there's The Rock. which is again
Yeah.
a great Ed Harris performance. I really love Ed Harris. Like it'd be an understatement to say anything else. Am I enamored by Ed Harris? No, but it's close.
I love Ed Harris in Apollo 13.
Oh yeah, he's awesome in that.
And
He's in the control room in that movie.
yeah.
It's
another
that's
movie
a good control room.
He's in control room in this movie too.
Yeah.
Great control room scenes. And he's in I really, really, really like this movie, and I think history views it very poorly. Enemy at the Gates.
It's a hit or miss for me. I don't know.
I
don't buy Owen Wilson as
You're thinking of Behind Enemy Lines.
Oh.
Enemy at the Gates is a movie about the Battle of Stalingrad, where
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Ed Harris plays a Nazi sniper who's going up against Jude Law's Vasily Zaitsev, a Russian sniper.
Oh, I'll have to see this. I don't think I've seen this.
Man, I love this movie. It's
I
got
thought you were
Rachel
talking
Weisz.
I thought you were talking about the Owen Wilson movie.
No, Enemy at the Gates. Check it. Great James Horner score. Anywho.
Give me more Ed Harris. Have you seen John Hamm in Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yes. Yeah.
Incredible, this guy.
I like John Hamm. I love John Hamm.
Yeah.
That's I for a minute there I thought Scorsese directed The Town because of how much I wanted to talk about John Hamm in The Town. Wait, let me see if I can conjure this. You and your friends didn't roll a Star Market for a box of quarters.
Is this a John Hamm line from The Town?
Yeah.
So my read on most of these characters in Top Gun Maverick is that it's very cookie cutter caricaturish. Am I totally wrong on this read?
No, but it's on purpose. These characters.
It's like hoo-ha, let's go fight.
Yeah,
under the American flag.
That's how you utilize stereotypes to tell stories in an efficient way.
I don't know. I was not interested.
It lets you get the world building out of the way, so you can get to talk to me, Goose.
Yeah, I wanted to go. I really enjoyed Top Gun Maverick in the sky, right? And then when we were on the ground, it's like, all right, they're just kind of chilling at the bar or playing volleyball, whatever. Let's get back to the sky. Who gets a point for best cast?
I think you know where I stand.
Say it.
Top Gun Maverick.
Round 6. Best scene. In this round, Michael and I agree on the scene we think is the best scene in each movie, and then we decide which movie has the best scene. In Devotion, the first scene I wrote down is the first flight detour in the beginning of the movie, where Jesse and Tom Hudner fly together for the first time, and Jesse has to kind of chase him. And, it's just one of those things that is photographed beautifully. Like in Top Gun, both movies have been choreographed by the same aerial stunt coordinator. And I think the photography supports both movies. And it's a very beautifully done scene. It also establishes some things like both characters' decision-making style, right? It has a payoff later because we don't know why he flew into that neighborhood near that house. And it has a nice payoff later. What do you think of that scene?
I'm trying to think of a moment in a film that really successfully gets by just being beautiful. There's a lot of beautiful cinematography in Devotion. I think it's one of the strongest parts of the movie. But just because something is beautiful does not necessarily make it entertaining.
Well, the purpose of this category is to, if you were to recommend this movie to a friend, which scene would you
You
recommend
don't have to
they watch?
explain to me the category.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't think that that's the strongest scene because like a lot of scenes in this film, it goes on and on and on. It's very self-indulgent because I think the filmmakers thought this is really beautiful and people are going to want to watch it. But I don't think you can pull that card.
Okay. Next one. Not my favorite scene, just a special mention. Really like Jonathan Majors talking to himself in the mirror. Great acting, I think, in that scene. I can't believe I let you get away with Tom Cruise as best actor in this. Should have pulled my card on that one, just because of the mirror scene. Tom Cruise has nothing like that mirror scene in his movie.
I'd be really interested to know if the plot point where Jonathan Majors as Jesse Brown says that he has kept a diary of all the terrible things that people have said to him in his life. I'd be really interested to know if that's a true thing because it seems insane.
to keep that list?
Yes.
We'd have to ask people who have experienced
And
that.
I mean, I can't, necessarily identify with that experience. It's the fault of the movie, I think, to not get me there.
Can I, several categories later, bring up the ace up the sleeve for an earlier category? I'm just joking. We'll move on.
I was seriously thinking about it.
No, let's not bring that into the conversation or any rulemaking in the future, because you could get to the finish line and then reverse the outcome. All right. This one is on both of our lists. It's the landing the Corsair on the aircraft carrier scene. Why don't you tell us about this scene?
So this is the first time that Jesse and the rest of the squadron are going to land the Corsair aircraft on the Leyte, which is an aircraft carrier. And what makes that particularly difficult for them is the way that the plane is constructed. When you're flying level, the front of the plane keeps you from being able to see what's immediately in front of you. So obviously that would make landing on an aircraft carrier very difficult. And there's some really nice things that ratchet up the tension in this movie. One of the things that happened while I was writing notes for Devotion and for Top Gun Maverick, I found myself making a notation for good cinematography, good music, and good writing in the same parts. So it was actually very easy for me to pick my best scenes. The music is really working. The score is really working in this scene where Jesse's attempting to land the Corsair. And the dramatic writing is really good, where he misses his first pass. All the black sailors, they're very aware of Jesse, and they're out on deck kind of watching, because this is how all of the pilots are going to essentially qualify, to be certified, to land, this plane on a specific carrier. So it's kind of all or nothing. There's a lot of stakes. It's a scene that appropriately sets the stakes. There's a couple different moments in this film that remind me of Dunkirk. You can see, there's a lot of examples of Tom Hardy, being a really strong actor in Dunkirk while his face is covered, And I think you can see a lot of the same ability in Jonathan Major to express what the character's feeling, even though you can really only see his eyes and his eyebrows. It's a great scene.
I agree with you. I really enjoyed that scene as well. Do we want to just make it our best scene, or did you have another one in there?
The other scene that I want to talk about, we can talk about in the best dialogue, the best quote.
All right. I also liked a little later after this, the Jesse Brown gets photographed by Life magazine scene.
Yeah, that was
I thought that was awesome.
I think that was a good scene.
That was, you know what? Now I'm hating that I let you get away with Tom Cruise acting thing, because Jonathan Majors' performance in
What do you want me to
scene
do? What do you want me to do? You want me to tell you to grow a spine?
awesome.
Get your notes together. Come prepared.
It's awesome.
You could have convinced me. You could have convinced me on Jonathan Majors.
All right. A special mention to Jesse Brown and then Tom Hudner when they crashed their plane scenes. I thought that was overall a good ending scene to the movie.
I mean, I want to talk about that Life magazine photo shoot scene really quick, because that scene is a window into how the Jesse Brown character is thinking about his race, right? He doesn't want it to define him, but in the other scenes when he talks to Tom, he knows how much it defines his life, He doesn't want racism to be the story that people know about him, but he's ultra aware of how it affects his career, and how it affects the way that people act around him. And that duality, to me, the whole film doesn't need to be everybody's being racist to Jesse and here's how he's responding. But Jesse's relationship to his race is complex and interesting. I feel like we missed out on a film that was a little more centered around that.
It's tough to make a movie about race. And I don't know if this movie is about race, right? I think one of the best movies I've seen about race is American History X. Because in that movie, the moment when Ed Norton murders the man that he murders on the sidewalk is a powerful moment that is baked into memory in its intensity. You're looking at me like you're looking at me
because
like
to me, that movie, it's not really about race. That movie's about hate and
but it doesn't
overcoming, about being enough of a person with enough life experience to overcome hate. I'm trying to think of a film that's about race.
Wait, how is that movie not about race?
This is a different podcast.
All right. Anyways, race is not an easy subject to deal with, right? But I think this movie probably focuses more on celebrating Jesse Brown, the aviator, than Jesse Brown, the black man.
There's no escaping that Jesse Brown's race was the reason that certain things happened to him in his life and that certain other things did not happen in his life. And it's why so many things that did happen happened in a particular way. So I feel a little confused about how the film becomes so much about Glen Powell. And, I guess you could say
I would have liked a movie about Jesse Brown more than Glen Powell.
And I feel like on one hand, maybe the filmmakers were trying to respect the fact that Jesse Brown did not want his life to be viewed 100% through the scope of his race, right? And that's kind of what that Life magazine scene's about. On another hand, you have a film here which seems like it would not maybe have been made unless there was a beefy part for a handsome white man in Glen Powell.
Well, at the end of the movie, they do show what Glen Powell's character, Tom, has been doing over the years, which is that, spoiler alert, Jesse Brown's body is in Korea still, and Tom has been trying to retrieve it, and it hasn't been retrieved yet.
No, and Tom has since passed as well.
Yeah. So that could be the devotion of Tom to try to get this thing back, not this person's body back. The devotion of the book might be actually about that. So if it is based on the book, then that might be why we have the white savior character in the movie.
They definitely hedge. He is not meant, he doesn't come across as your classic white savior character. He's very self-questioning of any role that he has to play in Jesse's life and career.
You're a white person in America. I'm a brown person in America. I don't think we're equipped to talk about race.
But I think we both agree that the scene where he lands the plane on the aircraft, that's the best scene.
We can agree on that because it's on both of our
aircraft
lists.
Carrier.
Yeah. And in that scene, I love the LDO, what's his name? The guy with the flags.
Oh, the LSO, yeah.
He's so hilarious.
Very emotive.
Yeah,
He's why isn't he going up?
He's
Go
awesome.
up.
It's like a little puppet show that's going on in the movie, and I love it.
There's a moment later in the movie where Jesse talks about maybe not being able to trust the person who's directing you to fly your aircraft when you can't see what's in front of you.
What was your read on that? Because as soon as I heard it, I was like, I don't think that would ever happen.
I think that would 100% happen. Are you kidding me?
You think a white person would intentionally crash a black person's plane?
Yes. Yeah. You don't think that
in the Naval Academy? I mean, in the naval setting?
We're talking. Oh my God.
Just to make him fail and die? I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much. I guess people really hated each other a lot for that to be a reality.
People still hate each other a lot. I mean,
but would you kill someone?
There's some, what is it about racism that makes a white person feel like if this black person is achieving something that it's taking something away from them? That's not how I feel, but I know that people out there feel that way.
Strong enough to kill?
Yeah. I mean, we had a whole, there was a war about this.
Okay.
It was a while ago, but it was a war.
Yeah.
And, we're still.
I mean, I hate some people in my life, but I'm not going to intentionally crash them.
All right. We're going to take this conversation off air. Let's move to Top Gun Maverick best scene.
For Top Gun Maverick best scenes, I have, we both have the opening.
Oh yeah, we were with me on Dark Star.
Yeah. Talk about it.
Dark Star. I don't know if there's a more satisfying 10 minutes of filmmaking that exists on, I don't know that this film ever got on celluloid, Probably did.
Probably,
IMAX? There's some IMAX. This scene in particular was shot in IMAX format.
Yeah. Tom Cruise, if it's a Tom Cruise movie, it's getting shot on film.
I mean, when I was watching it on my 4K Blu-ray last night, it looked crisp in its IMAX format. You know, this is another example of when I was taking my notes. We've got Lauren Balfe's score is just kicking ass. I used to listen sometimes if I needed a pump up, you know, if I needed to like get my blood going, I'd listen to like an AC/DC song. And now I listen to the track called Dark Star from the Top Gun Maverick soundtrack. Amazing score, some beautiful cinematography. The way that it lays the groundwork and lets us to get to know these characters so quickly, and again, just its innate appeal of entertainment, right? You've got Maverick. He's doing his Maverick thing. He's going to ignore the directions of his CEO and, put their test flight up.
In real life, both of these characters would be stopped immediately because they'll be court-martialed or kicked out of the dishonorably discharged right away.
It galls me to say it, Maverick. The call came in with impeccable timing.
So it's so cartoonish.
We get awesome control room stuff, right? We get comms, go.
General, would you like a coffee?
Yeah,
Admiral.
Put that in your Pentagon budget. And the whole, when Hondo cracks like 9.5, the guy with glasses says he's nearing high hypersonic, and we get this quiet moment, and Hondo says he's the fastest man alive. We're 5 minutes into the movie, and I'm just, gripped.
Oh, my God. That is...
How cool is that airplane?
That line, he is the fastest man alive, is such a crappy line.
What?
All right. That's a good scene. Here's my question. Why does the plane make a U-turn if it's trying to go fast?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Like, you're supposed to be going in a straight line. If you want to go fast, don't take turns. Go straight.
But there's something to, like... His curve is reflecting like the curve of the Earth.
No, he's making a U-turn.
Anyway, I'm going to save this for cinematography. Moving on.
Okay, I also have the first flight training scene montage. I thought that was awesome.
It's awesome. It's the first time we really get a bunch of in-cockpit footage, which it was awesome in the theater. It's still awesome at home, but it was awesome to sit in the theater, to feel like you're in the cockpit, that you're seeing what the pilots see, that you're seeing the plane, behind the plane that you're in.
And then the pilots kind of look
they
left and right.
Push their hand against the glass. Bob's back there. You get Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise, schooling the kids. Excellent cross-cutting. They set that thing up where it's like, oh, if you get, quote unquote killed, you're doing push-ups. And we're going back and forth. They're doing push-ups. They're getting shot down. They're doing push-ups. They're getting shot down. And it's got the don't get fooled again. This made me realize, like boomers get a lot of flack, right? Because they destroyed the entire world. They should get more flack because, like, I feel like this scene is indicative of the life that boomers were living all up until, like, the people realized what was going on a few years ago. Just, like listening to The Who and polluting the environment with their airline jets and leaning into the military industrial complex and just loving every minute of it. Not questioning for 1 second anything, not questioning anything for 1 second. And that it's what makes this movie such, like, I want to say like a guilty pleasure. But it's not. This movie is so fun and so engaging that it completely turns off every liberal switch in my brain. There are so many things about this movie that should infuriate me, and I don't care about them for 1 second of the 2 hours and 10-minute running time.
All right. You like the Val Kilmer scene? Tell us about it.
It's just a beautiful scene, and it,
I don't want to watch old people talk to each other.
It shouldn't work. Like, the idea that, like, you're typing and I'm seeing text, like, that shouldn't really work. I feel like House of Cards did it well with like text messaging popping up on the screen, and this movie kind of cuts that out. We're actually looking at screens when they're texting or when Val is communicating, but it takes a weakness, which is Val Kilmer has lost his voice, Iceman has lost his voice, and it turns it into this unbelievable strength. And it leans into it, where now Iceman, who used to be just the cockiest son of a bitch with the whitest teeth, is now a thoughtful, soft-spoken, learned individual of the world. And he knows, and he's a teacher, and he knows what Maverick needs to hear in this moment, to the extent that he says something, Maverick disagrees with him, and all he has to do is point at the screen again and say, like, actually think about what I'm saying here for a minute. It's a beautiful scene between the characters in the film, and it's a beautiful scene between these two actors who've known each other in this, there's this duality, right, that's going on where this movie's about Maverick, but it's also about Tom Cruise. So this scene's about Iceman, but it's also about Val Kilmer.
I think this movie took its arm, dug deep into your heart, pushed all those nostalgia muscles and squeezed them hard until you were just bleeding love out of your eyes.
Yep.
And here we are with you totally devoted to Top Gun Maverick and giving it all of its points.
Films are manipulative. I sit across here week after week, and you're like, Michael, you're so emotional about this. You're just too emotional about this. What is my reaction supposed to be when I'm sitting in front of a, to quote Nicole Kidman, beautiful silver screen, right? And the sound and the music, and
she's so creepy in that ad.
It's terrible. I hate it. And they got an AMC. Stop it.
If you guys ever watch movies at AMC, they have this Nicole Kidman campaign where she's telling people to go to the theater.
If they're listening to this podcast, they know what we're talking about.
Well, they might not go to AMC.
I don't know if there's any other theaters left. But anyway, it's a great scene.
I wouldn't call it the best scene, but a special mention is towards the end of the movie, the altercation with the 5th generation fighters. That was pretty awesome.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And it's not the best scene. I think we can agree that it's the Dark Star scene.
I think so. That's like the most, like, if I were to tell people, hey, I want you to watch this movie, I'll tell them to go watch Dark Star.
But honorable mention, the end credits. The end credits where we get to see all of our actors that we love and their names as actors and the character names that they're playing. And it's got a Lady Gaga song behind it. And it's just so fun. It's like, remember this... It's like, remember how fun the last 2 hours were? And I'm like, hell yeah. It's almost as good. It's not as good, but it's almost as good as the end credits from Avengers Endgame. They do softly, they go through the like 20 name actors, right? But they save the last 5, the big 5 so you got what, Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, and Robert Downey Jr., and they give them these like special title cards. I think I saw Avengers Endgame because I wanted to see Avengers Endgame. I saw it a second time because of how awesome it was. I saw it a third time because I just wanted to sit through the credits again because I was just like, this movie is made by people who love movies for people who love movies. I feel the same way about Top Gun. Because from the beginning of the film, when you see the Jerry Bruckheimer, Don Simpson, the Simpson Bruckheimer card, you're like, holy hell, yes. Like I remember when movies were less complicated and fun, and the world felt less complicated and more fun, right to the end, in memory of Tony Scott, because we love films and we love filmmakers. That's who made this movie, and that's who this movie's for.
All right, so we're going to go with Dark Star. Also in the Dark Star sequence. I love it. In the Dark Star sequence, my favorite shot in that is when Ed Harris is standing and the plane goes by and the roof flies off the sentry.
What a shot.
That was great. So we're putting Dark Star test flight scene against the aircraft carrier scene. Oh, all right.
Nothing. I want to hear what you have to say.
I mean, if you look at it from a scene to scene, It's a close. I don't think it's a wash.
No, I don't think it's a runaway.
All right. So, well, which scene has more, I guess, better drama? What do you think? Like it lays out, develops character, tells
Let's
story.
give a point to devotion here. Let's give a point to devotion.
Why?
Because I think this.
Tell me the reason
the
why.
scene from Devotion is more integral to the movie. Mm-hmm. It's a scene where, again, the score is working, the cinematography is working, the performances are working. I have a lot of problems with the film Devotion. The strategies that they took to make it, but that scene works. And I found myself like sitting on the couch, like gripping my clipboard and just being like, oof, I hope this works out for Jesse. I wish the rest of the movie could have been as engaging.
Yeah. Looking at these two scenes, I would agree with you. Like, I think they're both great scenes, but I feel like I'm invested in Jesse's story more in the scene.
Sure.
A long time since Devotion got a point, so point Devotion. Round 7. Best music / needle drop. I really like the score of Devotion. It's scored by Chanda Dancy. I hope I'm saying her name right. She has over 64 credits for composition on IMDb for various films and shows, but this is the only, I guess, major movie that she's done.
She's a real up-and-comer.
What do you think of Chanda Dancy's score and any specific music moments in Devotion?
I thought there were moments where the score really, punched through and was very effective. We talked about the scene where Jesse lands on the aircraft carrier for the first time. Another one of those moments where I felt like everything was really jiving was we get a little bit of a head fake where we see the squadron preparing to get into their planes and head off, and then we find out that
it's a training exercise.
It's a training exercise, which I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't know how I feel about the head fake aspect of that. But before the reveal is really effective, the cinematography and in conjunction with the score, I thought was working really well. I think its weakness is it doesn't have. I felt like key themes didn't really punch through for me. In contrast to Top Gun Maverick, where the themes are just really front and center, and I would get sick of them if they weren't so damn good.
I don't know about themes and all that, but I thought the music worked really well when it swelled and elevated the scenes that it was complementing, and then it would take a backseat when it wasn't needed. It would be there, but not drawing attention to itself.
I felt it was good and it was effective. It was shortlisted for the Oscars.
Was it?
In 2022, but it was not nominated, and that's right where I feel like that's an accurate assessment.
So I guess we should just say that maybe we should look out for Chanda Dancy's name in the coming future. Maybe she's going to be... I don't know if black composers have they won Oscars before? Do we know?
I don't know. And not only black.
And a woman.
Female.
Well, have female composers won Oscars before?
Honestly, I'd have to look it up.
All right, so if a black female person has not won an Oscar for composing music, Chanda Dancy might be coming up, in the next few years, taking one away for herself.
I feel like we're going to be hearing from her again.
Yeah, she did a good job in this movie. Top Gun Maverick does not have a composer credit, or does it?
Lauren Balfe.
Are you sure about this? Where did you read this?
I'm just going off of what I remember from listening to the score many times on Instagram, that the score is attributed to Lauren Balfe, Hans Zimmer, Harold Faltermeyer,
Yes.
and also Lady Gaga.
Right. So I've heard those three names, and I'm going off of IMDb.
Sure.
All right. But not the first name you mentioned.
Lauren Balfe?
Yeah.
He's really become Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie's go-to guy.
So he must be.
But he comes out of the Hans Zimmer music factory.
Got it. All right. Well, what do you think of that score? And there's no composer here. I mean, there's many.
That couldn't matter less to me at this very moment. I told you so. It was a couple years ago that you know how Spotify gives you the wrap up, and it's like, here was your year, and it was just like you listened to the most Moneyball, and I was like, yeah. And then it was like rounded out by Ratatouille. And I was just like, oh my God, like these are the Ratatouille and Moneyball are my yin and yang. And it's almost a certainty that this year, it's going to be like the thing you listen to the most is
Top Gun.
Dark Star, specifically Dark Star. I am absolutely in love with the score for Top Gun Maverick. Dark Star is awesome. There is another track called You're Where You Belong, which is just one of my favorite moments in the whole movie. It's most identifiable by being the track plays during the transition from when Maverick is saying goodbye to Penny, and then we get the shot of the aircraft carrier cutting through the water, followed by the scene between Maverick and it's Charles Parnell, Warlock, kind of, in the hangar area of the ship. And Charles Parnell says, "You're where you belong." Gives me chills. It's a wonderful track. And then, we get another section called The Man, the Legend after they land back on the aircraft carrier at the end of the film.
Speaking of aircraft carriers, I read this and haven't confirmed it, but I read this, which is that they built like a life-size aircraft carrier for Devotion on like a field or something. So that's why the movie's effects, I think, look very good because they're very practical.
We don't have a special effects category, but if we did, I feel like it would go to Devotion. Special effects are pretty outstanding.
Yeah, maybe we should bring it in for science fiction. Well, we'll think about it.
We can talk about it.
Continue with the music, sir.
Sure, and I think so, if there's any confusion here about who the composer is, and I guess there is some.
There's a lot, because there's 4 on there. I had 3.
I think it's partly because the film utilizes the theme from the original Top Gun. It utilizes the melody from the Lady Gaga song, Hold My Hand, I think it's called. And it uses the theme that's based on Hold My Hand as the love theme for the movie. And it uses the original Top Gun anthem as like Maverick's theme. And then there is a kind of unique theme for Top Gun Maverick, but it's less definable. It's just so effective. And not only
your passion to talk about the movies is so nice. Oh my God. For those of you who might be listening and not watching, Michael just revealed what's under his sweatshirt. And I'm surprised. It's a Top Gun 1980, whenever the movie came out, t-shirt.
So not only is the score for Top Gun stand out for me,
it's like the Top Gun fanboy is doing this podcast. Like, we're supposed to be like objective people, and here we have a
we're not
beating
supposed
heart.
to be objective. I'm going to push back against this. We're not supposed to be objective. Not only is the score stand out for me in Top Gun Maverick, but the pop music that gets used is used masterfully, I think, in this movie. There's a relatively lengthy scene that takes place in the hard deck, the bar, and it uses songs that are being played on the jukebox to break this long scene into different beats.
I wanted to talk about that scene, and the reason is this, that at one point I was considering asking the question, which scene of protagonist meeting the love of his life or his romantic interest is better? And I don't have the question in the rest of the pod, but coming to this scene that we're talking about, it reminded me of like trying to be Casablanca, but not Casablanca. The Casablanca scene in which Rick meets forget the female character's name at the Casablanca bar, where Sam, I think, is the character who's playing on the piano. Is that right?
Play it again, Sam.
Play it again, Sam. So like that to me is like the scene that it was reminding me of, and was just like a bad version of that scene. Any thoughts?
Disagree. I have not thought about Top Gun Maverick through the lens of how much it's like Casablanca, but I do think it occurred to me on this rewatch that the way that this music is used to break up the pieces of this scene, which, 10 or 12 minutes in this bar should kind of feel like an eternity. But Maverick sits down, meets Penny. He's surprised by her, right? And we get the beginning of their interaction, and David Bowie's Let's Dance is playing. And then as the kind of new group of there is a group of Top Gun pilots who are it's Glen Powell and his backseater, and they're playing darts. And then when Rooster's group comes in, or I guess it's Phoenix first. Phoenix comes in with her group, and Bob's sitting there. T-Rex's Bang a Gong is playing. And then we get Otis Redding and Carla Thomas, a song called Tramp, which is from a Sick album called King and Queen. If you're an Otis Redding fan, you should check that out. And then we get Foghat's Slow Ride, which is a little bit of Hangman's anthem. So when he's kind of being a hole, we get Slow Ride. Yeah, and it's just, 4 bangers, and they're just used to great effect. And we're not even mentioning Won't Get Fooled Again during the dogfight training sequence. So whether it's the score or a needle drop, for me, Top Gun Maverick takes it.
I'll let you take it with the needle drop. And I will with a big asterisk saying that look out for Chanda Dancy in the coming years, guys. She's coming in strong. So point, Top Gun Maverick. Put it on the board, Michael. We don't actually have a board. Round 8.
Gingerly typed into my laptop.
Best director / which movie was directed better? Devotion is directed by J.D. Dillard. He has a couple of feature films by the name of Sweetheart and Slight under his belt. Have you seen them?
No.
Me neither. But I really like this movie. What did you think of J.D. Dillard's direction of Devotion?
If I have to pick the greatest fault of Devotion, I probably point to the writing.
Okay.
Because it's...
But he's not... Why are you mentioning writing right now instead of directing?
Can I... That's half of my thought. Can I finish the other half?
Yeah. Tell me what you're thinking.
Because in the most effective scenes of the movie, I think it's directed very competently.
Okay.
Well, I may even say. But there's so many pieces of this movie that I feel like take us away from tension. Even the whole, it's kind of dawning on me now that whole section of film that takes place in Cannes, where is the dramatic tension supposed to be coming from?
You're kind of finding out more and more about Jesse Brown as the whole thing goes on.
Yeah, but again, like there has
he
to be...
speaks French.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
How
does that help you understand his trials?
He can navigate into places where he's not welcome, The
dramatic tension is coming from his race.
Yeah.
Right? But that's not what the film is about.
It doesn't want to be about that, yeah.
Here's something that's wrong with the film, right?
Yeah.
There is a white man, soldier, a Marine, who becomes the embodiment of racism against Jesse, right?
Yeah. And that's a great example. I don't think so. He's the most hateful person depicted in the entire movie.
Yes.
I think at his worst, he was not going to try to kill Jesse. Was he?
I don't know. Can you think of any black people who have been killed by white people, H?
Oh my God. All right. Let's move on past this race. We're not qualified for this.
So, this Marine character, he's meant to embody some, if not all, of I guess some of the racism that Jesse's going to confront. So he's very conveniently on the ship, and then very conveniently in the casino. And then he's very conveniently amongst the soldiers that Jesse will protect by strafing the Chinese army. And again, very conveniently standing there as Glen Powell walks by after Jesse has passed away. So it's unrealistic and extremely clunky, in my mind, to put so much weight on this nameless character. I mean, maybe he doesn't have a name, but he's not important enough for to remember. But that at the same time, he's supposed to mean so much. He's supposed to represent so much.
So, do you think if, say, the general or the commander of the ship were to play this character, that would be a better person to put this racism thing on? It's the
fact that the writer or the filmmakers deemed racism important enough to consider, right? But handled it in such an unrealistic way that essentially gets shouldered by one person.
Okay, and you did not like that.
And then that the other examples, the harshest examples of racism that we see are Jesse's neighbor calls the police on them like the day they move in. Okay. And even that, like, that's the kind of subtle harassment.
Wait, that was the day they moved in?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think so.
I thought that might be the week because she was
maybe
painting.
the week of, but like soon, right? But that's to me, that's very realistic and indicative of like the more subtle harassment. Part of me was expecting that he was going to open the door and there was going to be a burning cross on the lawn.
Oh,
yeah. But, I think that more subtle, it's not subtle, but it's more subtle than what the Marine does, to me feels more realistic.
Yeah.
And then the other most pointed example of the racism that Jesse confronts, we hear about through his own voice, right? And it's a really amazing performance that he's giving while he's staring into the camera. But I do feel like it takes the edge off, or it takes the responsibility for it off of other people.
Maybe there was a lot more tell going on than showing. The first rule of filmmaking is show don't tell.
Sure, yeah.
There was that other scene where he was on not like a little balcony on the deck where after the guys have left, Tom and him are having a conversation. He's low-key lit, and he delivers some of his experiences of when they tried to drown him in the pool with ice water. So again, his performance I think sells it. But I guess if the filmmaker had chosen to show those moments, it might have been more powerful.
I at the end of the day, I just feel like this was not the most effective depiction of Jesse Brown's story that could have been told.
Okay.
Whereas I do feel like it's the most effective version of Maverick's story.
Top Gun Maverick, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, so you want to talk about Joseph Kosinski?
Joseph Kosinski.
Has directed Only the Brave. Have you watched that movie?
I have not. That's about firemen?
Think so. I've never seen it. Oblivion, starring Tom Cruise also, and Tron Legacy. Where do you stand on Tron Legacy and Oblivion?
Neither of them are great films. And I really think the reason why Top Gun Maverick is as good as it is because they had basically all the time in the world to finish it. Because the world shut down. They shot it in 2018, and the reason that these are twin movies is because of the long delay in releasing the film in theaters. But it's always crazy to me. We go to the movies and we see a film, and it's like, wow, that was terrible. And it really seemed like that script wasn't ready to go. Studios, they get on these schedules where they're like, well, this film has to be in theaters in a year. And this movie has to be shot starting 9 months from today. And it's like, why don't you wait till the script is in a good spot? When you find out like they started shooting Men in Black without an ending.
You mean the new one?
No, this is a long time ago. To know that like, Joseph Kosinski could sit with Tom Cruise, could sit with Chris McQuarrie, could sit with whoever the credited editor of the film is, and they could really work on it, really take as much time to work on it as they wanted to. Who knew that having as much time as you need to make something good would actually make it good.
And make money.
People like good movies. Who knew?
I don't necessarily disagree with you. I don't think Kosinski does anything special here, because I think the best parts of both movies are the aerial combat battles. And I think in both the direction and the cinematography categories, I would give most of that credit to the aerial stunt coordinator because of how similar those scenes actually are. So I come back to what I feel about the characters in the movie while watching the movie. And I feel much more connected to Maverick's journey and where he arrives at the end of the movie than I feel with Jesse Brown's story and where he arrives at the end of the movie. So for that reason alone, I feel like the direction of Maverick is slightly better than the direction of Devotion, in my opinion.
It's going to be, again, where do we draw the line between giving credit because of the writing or giving credit because of the directing? But when I was talking about these moments in Devotion that are like beautiful, right? One of the things that's not happening while it's being beautiful is I'm not learning about the characters. I'm not learning anything new about them, right? But I mean, what makes, say, let's talk about, I mean, let's even talk about the Dark Star scene, right? Say that you've never seen Top Gun before. What are you learning about these characters while the plane is in the air, right? You're learning that Maverick is a competent pilot. You're learning that Hondo has a role where he stands between, where he basically makes excuses for Maverick while he's doing his Maverick thing. You learn that, Ed Harris has a bit of a temper, and you realize you learn a very important lesson. Maverick's always going to push it. He's always going to push it, right? He's going to risk his life and limb. For what reason? We don't really know, right? There's something in his DNA that won't keep him from pushing the envelope. So he's not going to stop at Mach 10. He's going to literally fly the plane until it explodes. That's, world building and character building while we're watching some beautiful cinematography of a plane in the air. In Devotion, we actually have Jesse explain to us after the fact that the way that he was flying with Glen Powell for the first time, the way that he was flying with Tom for the first time was meant to tell him something, give him some information about Tom that he would not have been able to find out otherwise. Understand what kind of pilot he is, understand what kind of man he is. But because we know that information after the fact, all we do is watch them fly around for 3 minutes. And there's no dramatic attention tying me to the film. So it's beautiful to look at, and in the moment I couldn't care less.
All right, that's a good defense for Mr. Kosinski.
I felt pretty good about it.
Let's put it on the board for directing for Mr. Kosinski.
He did it.
Round 9. Best cinematography or best shot. Let's start with another quick shout out to Kevin La Rosa, who did the aerial stunt photography in choreography, not photography. Aerial stunt choreography in both movies. Felt very legit and real during both movies.
Without knowing that information, I thought I was like, Devotion totally ripped off Top Gun Maverick. There's one very particular thing that is going on, which is the extreme wide shot, where we, in Top Gun Maverick, it's largely down, looking down at the Earth from essentially space. During the Dark Star scene, where we see the streak of smoke.
The U-turn?
Sure, in the sky. I like the way that it's used in Devotion, where you get the most broadest sense of the context wherein the squadron is moving through space. And I think it's most effectively used when Jesse is separating from the pack to go back and bomb the bridge, where, I mean, from miles out, we see the squadron moving, and you see one black dot kind of separate from the group. And that's a unique visualization of a moment.
Yeah, and I was glad they didn't do the J.J. Abrams thing in both movies.
Yes, that was nice...
Which is for our audience, you kind of like start wide and then you just punch in.
Super zoom.
Let's move on to let's talk about the cinematographers. Devotion's cinematographer is Eric Messerschmidt. A lot of consonants in that name. He has shot these movies. Mank. I know you love Mank.
Yep.
Also, so David Fincher made Mank. And then he's also shot David Fincher's Mindhunter. So he has a very specific style. What did you think of Eric Messerschmidt's cinematography in Devotion?
Overall, I'm pretty satisfied. I felt like it was too afraid of contrast at times. So the scenes that I thought actually looked best were nighttime scenes where the contrast is sort of forced on the film. I thought one of the most beautiful looking scenes followed the crash/death of the mooring character who did not succeed in landing his plane on the aircraft carrier. And following that, all the rest of the squadron, the guys are hanging outside at night, and they're hit by kind of the blue light of the night, moonlight, and then behind them is a very warm, practical yellow light from the ship. So it's just a really nice use of enhancing what natural light would be there and using the practical light. And because it's at night, again, it forces some contrast into the scene. Most of the film is just kind of very blue-gray, which...
Green-gray?
I felt blue-gray, but, who knows? My TV at home isn't professionally calibrated.
I, on the other hand, thought it was very effective cinematography. I think it has more to do with a combination of elements like lighting, camera angle, camera lens, marrying special effects into the scene. Like, I bought into the world that they had created, especially when they were on the aircraft carrier. It did not feel like a lot of these movies feel, where it's like, oh, I know I'm not on an aircraft carrier. I know I'm looking at a blue screen right now. Whereas in this movie, it was like, oh, yeah, we are on the aircraft carrier. There's some shots that really stood out. There was one after Tom crashes his plane, and he walks up to Jesse.
That crash is a oneer.
Yeah.
Which is really... Whew. I mean, sometimes I feel like somebody does something with the camera, or there is a shot, right? That should not exist. It should not exist because physics.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, this is clearly computer generated. That shot was handled so well that I knew it wasn't real. I knew that it was manipulated, but it was seamless and so effective.
Yeah. So I felt like Eric, I'm sorry, I have a tough time with his last name here, but
Messerschmidt.
I think in a lot of the scenes there was so much design and purpose and intention with each frame. His purpose was not just to make it pretty, but make it meaningful with whatever they're trying to do. A great example is when Jesse does the monologue in the mirror. I don't know if you noticed that shot, but it starts off with the camera being the point of view of the mirror and then kind of pans around.
Did I notice the shot?
Well, I don't know. It
was another oneer.
It was another oneer. So, like, there were so many moments in this movie where I was noticing, because I know about cameras, how the cinematography was elevating the movie. And I just thought Eric did a wonderful job.
The cinematography is really stand out. Shot to shot, it's very, very, very beautiful. The film opens with at least a full minute, maybe two, of just beauty shots of the plane.
In all fairness, we cannot credit either cinematographer for that, or in either movie, of the planes, because of the aerial stunt coordinator. Because at the end of the day...
No, okay, yeah. I guess, again, and I mean, that's directing, and then that's editing, so...
Like,
I did not like the editing choice to waste a lot of my time, I guess, is what I'm saying.
So you're talking about editing, not cinematography.
Right, yes.
In that case.
If you'll notice, I self-corrected there before you decided to correct me.
I have a beef with Claudio Miranda, who is the cinematographer for Top Gun Maverick. Claudio has also worked with David Fincher in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, one of the most boring movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
But beautiful.
Good looking, but boring.
That movie's almost good enough looking to forgive some other things. It's not that good looking, but it's almost that good looking.
What is a good looking movie is Life of Pi, for which Claudio Miranda won an Oscar, and was a huge upset because of the amount of special effects in that film.
Yeah.
That was like one of those things where we're like, why are we giving a cinematography Oscar for green screen? I remember the moment he won, and I was like, I hate this guy in his speech. So he's a long-term collaborator of Joseph Kosinski and has worked on Oblivion, Tron Legacy, And a favorite movie of mine, Failure to Launch.
Is that a Matthew McConaughey movie?
Yeah, I love that movie. And Kosinski did not direct that one. He also seems to have a very specific style, which I would describe as a glam real look, where it's like glamorous lighting, but in a real way. What do you say to that?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like a very commercial, but polished enough to like just look real, even though it's very glam.
I admire a lot about the way that Devotion is shot, but I do feel like the cleanliness that I mentioned infects all the art direction, the wardrobe, the hair and makeup. Oh my God. Glen Powell's hair is amazing from frame 1 to the last frame of this film.
In Maverick.
No,
Oh.
in Devotion.
Yeah.
I forgot he's in both. It's just, to me, Devotion, like, it's too polished. Almost everything about it is too polished. Do
you think back in the 1950s, people took that much care of how they looked? And, we were talking about a naval aircraft carrier where people are in there for months.
It's not
right?
just that. It's not just that. The cars that they drive, the wardrobe. I mean, Tom picks Jesse up off the side of the road. Jesse's supposed to have had his head under the hood of his car working, and they get in the car and they're driving, and it looks like an old magazine ad for cigarettes. Like it just looks like The Beautiful Life.
So I felt the same way about Maverick, where everybody looks that clean and polished. Now, I do want to mention this, that I think that's a problem. The problem you're describing is a problem that almost all history Hollywood movies have. Like specifically thinking about Hidden Figures right now. So if you look at the movie Hidden Figures, it's very much art directed and costume designed and polished in the way that you're describing this movie.
But that movie knows what it is. That movie is very clear that it is a bio picture.
And this movie's not?
This movie, I don't know. Is this movie a biopic? Is it a buddy pick? Is it a war pick?
Whatever pick it is, it's a history
No,
story.
that's the problem. It never commits. It never commits to a tone or a style.
And then we were talking about Mank earlier. If you look at the wardrobe choices, our choices in Mank, you will see the same level of polishing. What do you say to that?
I disagree. There's a long stretch of that movie where Gary Oldman looks like absolute Think about like Saving Private Ryan, right? Saving Private Ryan, there's blood. There's literally blood on the lens. And that's a choice.
This movie's not Saving Private Ryan.
You're right. It's not. But not every single light fixture in 1950 had half diff on it. Not every single lighting fixture would give you this beautiful complementary soft light that pervades Devotion from beginning to end.
I think it's a beautiful looking movie.
It is beautiful.
And
it is wildly unrealistic. I was
more than Top Gun Maverick?
Yes.
What name one shot that is on ground in Top Gun Maverick that does not look like it's in a magazine article with like lifestyle photography.
The cockpit footage, the way that we see streaks and scratches in the glass
on the ground.
I mean, the scene where they're running in the woods after they've been shot down. The lighting feels realistic. When they're silhouette lit by the sun on the beach while they're playing dogfight football, feels realistic.
I don't know, man. I'm not going to go down this path with you.
Those two scenes that I mentioned, they look different from each other. There's not one scene in Devotion that looks different from every other scene. Every scene in Devotion has the same
up
black point as every other scene.
Sleeve.
That's fine. I'm done talking about this.
I think Eric Messerschmidt did a really good job, and I will use my ace up my sleeve to secure this point for Devotion. It's a good looking movie.
Too good looking is my point.
Round 10. Best quote / best dialogue.
Ooh, baby.
For Devotion, I have nothing written down.
I have one line.
All right, tell me.
And it's very indicative of the film that I wish that this film was. I have sympathy I think that's the right word, for black filmmakers who don't want to have to tell every story like it's a black story, right? Like, real equality in filmmaking and storytelling is that black characters and white characters and characters of Asian Pacific or Indian descent,
Leave us out of it.
or,
Right.
you know, LGBTQIA+. I think I threw an extra T in there.
What is QIA?
Queer, intersex, asexual,
Oh, okay.
I think.
All right.
That they just all exist in film, right? And in storytelling, because they exist in the world, and that would be equality. So I get, like, I'm going to tell a story about a black character, and you know what? I'm not going to make this story about racism because I don't want to. I don't want to talk about. I want to talk about everything else. But I do think there's room to discuss the subject with nuance, and I do think the film goes there occasionally. So let me just read you what I wrote, which is a section of what I thought was some of the most interesting dialogue. This comes at the point of the film where Tom has already submitted his report about the bridge bombing, and he's indicated in his report that Jesse did not follow his orders. So Jesse has explained to Tom, a slap on the wrist to you is different than a slap on the wrist to me. And, you know, what they're getting at is, what does it mean to be like a real ally? And then what did it mean then to be like a real ally of a black person? So Tom goes and he gets testimony from the other white pilots, and he's like, this will fix it, right? This is other pilots explaining that you did the right thing. And and Jesse is just like, you don't get it. Tom has given him this paperwork, and he says, I'm sticking my neck out for you. Jesse says, sticking your neck out with a piece of paper? Tom, that paper costs you nothing. Nothing. Do you know how tired I am of people trying to help me while looking down on me? And Tom says, I'm not looking down on you. What do you want me to do? Jesse says, just be my wingman, pal. That's it. Forget the damn lifesaver and get in the damn water.
All right, that's pretty good.
I mean, forget the damn lifesaver and get in the damn water is such a loaded line, and it's maybe starts to crack the shell of somebody like Tom, who says, there's no way that LSO would crash your plane on purpose and kill you. And it lets Jesse say, this is the truth of my life, right? That if I do what I'm told all the time, it might end up with me in the ground, because not everybody out here is looking out for my best interest. I wish that the rest of the movie could have felt as explosive and as revealing as that piece of dialogue. Great writing in that scene.
Okay, yeah. I actually, because I had nothing written down, and went on to IMDb to see if anybody had written anything down in the quote section of IMDb. And I think the only thing that was written there was the monologue in the mirror. And I'm not going to do that.
There's a lot of there's a lot of the use of the N-word in that monologue.
Yeah, good. If you want to see a good scene of acting from Jonathan, what's his last name?
Majors.
Jonathan Majors. That's a good scene to watch.
The rest of the script is really marked by platitudes, stuff that, I mean, it really feels like it could have been lines that John Wayne could have said, or Gregory Peck could have said in The Force of Navarone. Lots of military and war platitudes, and it's really a shame, because I was interested in this relationship between Jesse and Tom. And
the movie needed a better script, I think. Yeah. Especially in terms of dialogue. And they should just have had a dialogue guy go through the script.
And it just needed more focus.
Yeah.
It just needed more focus.
Let's get to Top Gun Maverick. I'm sure you have 20 lines in there, but I'm just gonna tell you the one I wrote down, which was Ed Harris's line.
You got balls, stick jockey. That one?
Yeah. Is it on your list? You got some balls. You got some balls, stick jockey. I'll give you that. Great line from Ed Harris. Well written. And that's all I got. What do you have?
Talk to me, Goose. Works for me every time.
That's just like melodrama BS.
It works for me every time.
All right.
I have to admit, I wasn't expecting an invitation back. They're called orders, Maverick. It's a little worn because it was in the trailer, but it's him, right? He is verbalizing the wackadoo way that like he sees the entire world. It's all there for him. These are both things that I talked about earlier. Warlock saying, "You're where you belong." Beautiful moment. John Hamm, send them. Any line that begins with somebody saying, "Dagger 1, Dagger 2, Dagger 3, or Dagger 4.
This is like a child playing with G.I. Joe figures. You know, that's what I'm hearing on this side of the table here.
Dagger
Continue.
1 defending. Dagger 2 defending.
Give me a substantial line, dude. Come on.
It's what my dad would have done.
I don't know. All right, give me a good one. Come on. Keep going.
No, that's it.
That's
are
your
all
list?
good. Those are all good.
That's your list?
Talk to Me Goose has 30 years of emotion built up into it.
Can we just do the ball stick jockey and call it a day?
No.
All right. Well, what do you know?
All right, Talk to Me Goose. Ace up my sleeve.
All right. Michael,
I'm going to make it simple for you.
Thank you. Because I don't know if you gave me the best examples. And not that there were many, because I didn't write anything else down. And let's move on to round 11. Which movie gets the Good Time at the Movies award? All right. I agree with you on this one. Go for it.
Devotion. It's Top Gun Maverick. 300 million people can't be wrong.
Let's take a break. We haven't counted the points yet. What do you think? Well, I think we know what the total is.
It's a bit of a wild runaway, but that's okay. That's okay. We're having fun. And we're doing exactly what I always want to do with these films, which is we're talking about things that we like about them. I feel like I have picked apart Devotion a lot. But honestly, it exceeded my expectations watching it.
I'm surprised by the audience score on it.
Me too.
I like it. Like, I would give it like a high score. I don't know if I'll give it like a 9 out of 10. I'll probably give it like a 6 or 7, you know?
Yeah. It's a 6 or 7 out of 10.
Yeah. Round 12. Which movie has the better scene of Glen Powell chasing the protagonist's plane scene? In Devotion, we have that beautiful scene, which I brought up a couple times, and you say it lacks any dramatic build-up.
Storytelling. It lacks storytelling.
So, and Glen Powell also chases Maverick in Top Gun Maverick. Which scene is better? You don't have to give automatic points to Devotion. Think about it.
Yeah. So well, in Devotion, you're talking about the scene where
the beginning.
Jesse is supposedly pulling he's learning something about Tom. That's his goal, right?
Yeah, and he flies, he takes a detour and flies over his house.
I always really like seeing planes fly over, like, the suburbs. There's a scene in The Aviator where he crash lands in suburban Los Angeles, which is a scene I really like. In a movie I really like. So it's cool. It's definitely, it has cool factor. In Top Gun Maverick,
It's during the training when Hangman hangs his team out to dry, and then Maverick takes him out.
See, that's tough again, because we are getting storytelling,
character
building there. What do you think?
Dude, you said it, man. The Maverick scene is full of excitement. We're having a fun time in the sky. We're having a fun time in Devotion also, but we're more invested in the characters in Top Gun Maverick. You really like Hangman is playing the a-hole, so
oh man, he is so good at
playing the a-hole. Yeah. So when Maverick takes revenge for his team members that he has hung out to dry, it's awesome. So, lots of character work done in what I would say is about 20 to 30 seconds of flight time.
Yeah.
Versus the 2+ minutes in Devotion. So I would say it's a Maverick win here.
In the 15 to 20 minutes of screen time that Glen Powell gets, I feel like I know him better than half the movie that he gets in Devotion.
I don't know if I agree with that because, this is point Top Gun Maverick.
Sure.
Right. Coming back to what you said just now, it is that these characters are so cookie cutter and caricature-ish that, like, Glen Powell is just playing the token a-hole, right? There's no dimensionality to it. And you're okay with this?
Clearly.
Round 13. Which movie has the better advice from the protagonist's love interest scene? In Devotion, Daisy tells Jesse that he should always trust his instincts and that she knows that he has the best instincts for flight.
Yeah.
In Top Gun Maverick, Penny tells Maverick when he's struggling with the decision of whether or not to sign Rooster onto the lead squad, she says something like, you will know what to do. Something like that, right? Or is it a different line? Something like that.
Penny's advice to Maverick is essentially like, you're the star of this film, so it's all going to work out.
Yeah. You put it quite well there.
And it felt, particularly during this most recent rewatch, I was like, this is some advice.
Coming back to my caricature, coming back to my cookie cutter caricature examples, I think this scene is up there.
And I mean, her whole character is just based on the notion of like, I am the best looking, age appropriate woman who walks this earth and has a SAG card. And I have no complaints. No complaints.
So, the question is, which movie has the better advice from the protagonist's love interest scene?
Give it to Devotion.
It's deserved.
I was struck by that line when she says something to the effect of like, of all the things that I've been worried about, I've never worried about your instincts.
Yeah. Penny's advice was kind of BS advice, you know?
She's got a lot of stuff going for her. She owns a bar, owns a Porsche, owns a sailboat, owns her own home.
Yeah.
She's a catch. Good for him.
Round 14. Which movie has the best scene of rescuing the protagonist from his crashed plane in enemy territory? In both movies, the enemy is in icy mountains. Devotion, we have the long single take that you mentioned earlier, and even stuff that happens before that of the crash. I love that single shot, of him walking over to the plane. Technically, really well executed scene. In that continuation of the Devotion scene, the helicopter pilot that was introduced earlier comes to rescue him, hands Glen Powell an axe to try to cut Jesse out. Top Gun Maverick has Tom Cruise's rescue by Rooster. We go to fade to black, and then the next thing we know, Rooster comes out of nowhere and rescues Tom Cruise. And then they just kind of like waltz. Rooster crashes after that, and then they waltz into the airfield, and they steal the F-14. And this whole sequence really stretched my suspension of disbelief. It's like the fastest compression of time of what would normally take hours. And they kind of like do this all in like 5 minutes, which is insane. So
does Top Gun Maverick get any extra points for
rescuing?
Actually rescuing?
Well, the question is, which movie has the best scene of rescuing?
I was really gripped by that. I mean, let's be honest. I was really gripped by that section of Top Gun Maverick when I saw it in theaters.
Maverick is fun. It's a fun scene,
right?
But it's unbelievable.
Okay, yeah. I like this. It's a true story. So, but that doesn't mean it can't have some like literary style symbolism. And I really like the notion that we get like Glen Powell, right? Despite his best efforts and despite his desire to like put himself in Jesse's shoes and save Jesse, Tom makes it his mission to essentially like. They verbalize it at the end. I couldn't save him, right? Before the crash, he wanted to save Jesse from racism. He wanted to save Jesse from hurt that he felt Jesse was suffering and did not deserve. And in this moment, he wanted to save Jesse from dying trapped in his plane. And he couldn't because of circumstances.
I think the dying portion was a little too long in the scene. It stretched for a little while, probably like 30 seconds too long.
I was actually, were you aware? So they have that shot where they show his legs in the plane and there's like blood around them. Did you at that point recognize that his life was in immediate danger?
Oh, like from the incoming troops?
No, from just dying from essentially blood loss in the plane.
No.
Me neither.
Yeah.
And I wonder if I would have felt differently, or if I would have felt more invested if I correctly understood the stakes of the scene.
Or if maybe the fire was going to blow up or something, right?
Yeah. You know, all that said, I mean, this time through, I value your point that it's some people have said that Top Gun Maverick is like a fever dream.
Like in Tom's head after he crashes.
Right,
yeah.
after he crashes Dark Star. And that's a reason for why it feels so wild and dreamlike. It doesn't mean it's any less entertaining, you know, no matter how you read the film.
I don't think it is, man. I don't think he would dream of that big of an American flag in his dream.
All things being equal, I felt very invested in the drama of the crash rescue in Devotion when I watched it last night.
Point
2 nights
devotion.
ago.
Point devotion. I also want to say that this was my least favorite part of the movie. Everything that happens after Tom Cruise's plane crashes. Because it's one of those things where, you know, when Arnold Schwarzenegger is shooting at the bad guys and they're shooting him back and none of the bullets hit Arnold, yeah, I'm watching Commando, it's fine. I don't think this Top Gun Maverick is that movie, though. So, is it?
But that's the thing about this film is it does
Just
it's
Star Wars your way out of there.
It's visceral without being realistic, right? It lets someone like me, who is troubled by the state of our world, who's troubled by the state of our country, who's troubled by the continued prevalence of capitalism and the military-industrial complex, it's unrealistic enough that I can check out on that for a little bit and just enjoy a movie.
And celebrate American military propaganda.
Just planes. Yeah. Speed.
How,
Missiles.
let's move on.
Coffin Corner. We have not taught. We did not. I should have mentioned that shot of after they have bombed the uranium enrichment plant, and they have both pairs of daggers have passed through Coffin Corner and are being fired upon by a large number of surface-to-air missiles. There's that wide shot where you see all the missiles in the air and all the planes in the air. And I remember from the trailer and being like, oh my God, this is going to be my favorite movie.
Yeah. And well, we've also brought this up before. We love flares. We love those flares.
Have we talked about this before?
We have, yeah.
In what film?
In the very first episode we did, White House Down.
Oh, yeah, because I was just sitting on the couch last night.
Do that sound effect.
Oh, I was wondering if I had done it before, because I was like...
We love the flares,
Oh,
man.
my God. Dagger 1 defending.
These
Love
movies.
it. This is why I go to the movies.
Yeah, good flares in this movie.
I want one of those, like, I want like
is this the apex for flares?
for defensive flares?
Yeah.
Maybe. There's some good ones in Air Force One.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want like a button. I want the defending flare button like on my nightstand to turn my alarm off in the morning. So I can just be like, Dagger 1 defending. It's a great way to spend 2 hours.
Love it. All right.
I would literally like I was sitting around last night and just being like, nobody enjoys defensive flares more than me.
I enjoy defensive flares.
No, I'm really glad you brought it up.
Round 15. Which movie had the better character played by Glen Powell? In Devotion, I think we know where you stand here because you've talked about this plenty. In Devotion, we have nice guy Glen Powell. He's not racist.
But that's the thing.
He
is on some level.
He's an excellent pilot. He's a straight shooter. Overall, seems to be a lovely human being. Reminds me of a dorm friend I used to have. He was a super nice guy named Dave.
Shout out to Dave.
Shout out to Dave. I don't think he's listening anymore. I was his wingman. I was Dave's wingman once.
You were his Hondo?
I was his Hondo. I helped him meet a girl that he dated for a few years. In Top Gun Maverick, Glen Powell plays the a-hole hangman. He will leave you out to hang. Has a little bit of redemption at the end when he saves the guys at the very end. But as I mentioned earlier, for the most of the movie, he's cartoonishly bad. Glen Powell makes the final rescue in both movies.
The definition of a eating grin on this guy. Unbelievable. That whole scene where he's like, we can't be living in the past. And Rooster's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you know I'm right. You know I'm right. Oh, my God. Even Maverick's like, I'm going to punch this guy right in the face.
It's so cartoonish. Which movie did the better Glen Powell rescue? And, obviously, we mentioned earlier, one of them is a successful rescue. The other is not.
I mean,
That was a side question. Question is, which movie had the better character played by Glen Powell?
Hangman's pretty flawless as a character.
You're going to pick cartoonish, one-dimensional character over a more fleshed out character?
Over a more similarly ill-defined but less enjoyable character? Yeah, I am. Glen Powell is not in Sydney Sweeney's next movie because of Tom. He's in Sydney Sweeney's next movie because of Hangman.
Good move by Glen Powell to play both sides of the aisle this year as a Navy pilot.
Good for him.
That's the end of all the categories, Michael. Before we get to the final tally, let's recap. Round 1, which movie won the release date?
Top Gun Maverick.
Round 2, which movie won the box office?
Top Gun Maverick.
Round 3, which movie has the better title?
Top Gun Maverick.
Round 4, which movie has the better leading actor?
Top Gun Maverick.
Round 5, which movie has the best rest of the cast?
Top Gun Maverick.
Round 6, which movie has the best scene?
Devotion.
Round 7, which movie has the best music moment / needle drop?
Top Gun Maverick.
Round 8, which movie has the best director? Or which movie was directed better?
Top Gun Maverick.
Round 9, which movie has the best cinematography?
Devotion.
Round 10, which movie has the best quote / best dialogue?
Top Gun Maverick.
Round 11, which movie gets the Good Time at the Movies Award?
Top Gun Maverick.
Round 12, which movie has the better scene of Glen Powell chasing the protagonist's plane scene?
Top Gun Maverick.
Round 13, which movie has the better advice from the protagonist's love interest scene?
Devotion.
Round 14, which movie has the best scene of rescuing the protagonist from his crashed plane in enemy territory?
Also Devotion.
Round 15, which movie had the better character played by Glen Powell?
Top Gun Maverick.
What are the totals, Michael? How many points does the loser have?
Let's see. I hope I have enough RAM to calculate. Did you say how many points the loser has?
Yeah.
4 points.
All right. Okay. It's not close. A huge
It's
spread.
not close this week. So 4 points for Devotion, while Top Gun is taking home the trophy today with 11 points.
With 11 points for Top Gun Maverick and only 4 points for Devotion, Devotion doesn't stick the landing, and Top Gun races past Mark 10. Mark 10? Mach 10?
Mach 10.
In today's episode of the Hollywood vs. Hollywood podcast, what are your feelings about this result, Michael?
Before I watched Devotion, I thought that this could be a complete blowout. I thought there was potential for Devotion to get no points based on the fact that Top Gun
Is awesome.
is maybe in my top 10 all time.
Top 10, huh?
Maybe. I've probably watched it 15 times now.
Yeah.
Shortly after it was in theaters, it was on Amazon Prime.
Uh-huh.
And I would watch it one night, and then I'd like come home from work the next day, and I'd be like, oh, I'm kind of beat. I'm gonna watch Top Gun Maverick again. I probably watched it 5 days in a row at one stretch.
It's Top Gun Maverick to aviation fighter jet movies like Rockies to boxing movies?
Well, Rocky is long and boring. And that's not to say there's not good things about Rocky. But,
All right, bad example then.
I mean, the only film and the title holder for me is still The Matrix. When The Matrix came out on videotape, I watched it every day for 57 days in a row. I kept a tally.
That's
and
a huge yeah. I've seen that movie a lot, too.
I wore that VHS right into the ground.
Who built an enrichment facility in the middle of that valley? Is it even possible? How long would it take to build? And if they're building roads and whatnot and getting all the supplies there, wouldn't it be possible to destroy all that stuff much sooner?
I don't care. The first third of the movie, most of the movie, everyone treats Maverick like a huge piece of shit. John Hamm is so openly hostile to Maverick in the beginning of this movie. You know, that whole thing where he's like, your reputation precedes you. And he's like, thank you, sir. He goes, not a compliment. Just like right in his fucking face.
Thank you for listening. This is HT with my co-host Michael,
I was happy to be here.
only on the Hollywood vs. Hollywood podcast. Have a nice day. Thank you for listening to the Hollywood vs. Hollywood podcast,
Please rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen.
and connect with us on Instagram at HollywoodVSPod.